When I was a kid, yes, I did. I wanted to be an actress. But when I took biology in high school, I was hooked. The biological theories I learned to me were the height of creativity. So I pursued my passion for biology and wherever that would lead me. I was never in a play. I don't think really saw a play. I wasn't interested in the least, not the least. I was driving around LA and I heard a promo for a sitcom on the radio. They'd play their best joke from the show, and I remember hearing in my head, oh God, that's not funny. Oh, they punched that joke too hard. Just throw it away. Lisa, remember to throw it away when you do it. Why do I need to remember to throw a joke away? I don't need to remember that. So I dismissed it until after I graduated and was happily doing research with my father at the headache clinic. And it happened again and again and again. I'd be watching a sitcom and I'd hear myself saying, oh God, no, don't do that. Don't do that comedy walk thing like those sitcom actresses do. Yeah, it really got relentless. So I entertained the idea of being an actress, then moved to justify the idea with, you're 22, you have no mortgage, no husband and kids, no responsibilities. You have to do this acting thing now, right now. I'm so sorry, but you have to. By November of 1985, I declared that I would pursue acting. My parents and family were thrilled for me. I was a little terrified. And not because I didn't think it wouldn't work. I didn't think it would work out. I was weirdly confident for no reason at all. But it was because this didn't exactly feel like it was a choice as much as succumbing to a compulsion. And I didn't analyze what led me to this point, whether it was divine intervention or a lapse in judgment or sanity. I just listened to that inner voice. By the way, I think it's always a good move to listen to that inner voice. You can't pursue something and be committed to it if you're apologizing for it at every party, which I did for a while. I started to learn. I learned you have to surrender to the fact that, yes, you are one of too many in a highly competitive field where it is difficult to stand out. For now, over time, through your work, you will demonstrate who you are and what you bring to the field. Just stay with it and keep working. I was collecting tools to cope with this uncertain path in case it got rocky later on, just in case. Over the next 8 years, my resolve and commitment was steadily challenged by casting directors telling me to my face that I was horrible. Agents letting me know, it's hard, we don't know what to do with you. They want gorgeous on TV, There's no place for you, really. Lorne Michaels came to a show to look for new cast members for Saturday Night Live. He was considering me, Kathy Griffin, and Julia Sweeney, and he picked Julia Sweeney. I was devastated. That same director told me, well, of course he picked Julia. Who else would he have picked? Naturally, these things knocked me off balance and caused me to wonder if this was the right path for me. Am I going about this the right way? Do I belong here? Maybe I will never be a working actor, and I've wasted all this time. Then I would decide, no, they're just wrong and a little insensitive, but mostly they're just wrong, and that's okay. They don't see it yet. I'd cling to the knowledge that friends like Conan O'Brien always liked the sketches I wrote and performed. So did Kathy Griffin, Julia Sweeney, writers I knew and respected liked my work. These people, I decided, were not wrong. I do belong here. That's what I would tell myself, to keep those moments of doubts only moments. And it worked. I kept going. Then it all changed. I got cast as a series regular on a show that I knew would run forever and be very well written. Jim Burrows was directing, and that's a big deal. He had directed and produced Cheers, Taxi, everything good. I was set. I was done. No more guest starring roles when you're not really part of the show because you're just there for the week. I was done worrying I get to do what I love on the best show ever. After 2 days of rehearsal, I got fired. I got fired from Frasier, the one everyone knew was going to be a hit, and it was. This time, it was really hard not to think that it wasn't meant to be my career as an actress. It was so embarrassing. Jim Burrows and those producers had to fire me. Richard Kind, who I'd met when I had guest starred on an episode of Mad About You starring Paul Reiser and Helen Hunt, who said, "I heard what happened. I don't know how you get up in the morning. How do you even get out of bed, get dressed, walk out the door, and show your face?" That just made me laugh. That was crazy. I was getting up in the morning and leaving my apartment, so maybe I was coping better than I was expected to. That's a good sign. The best words were from Robin Schiff, who wrote the play Ladies' Room. She said, "I know it's hard to believe, but when one door closes, another door always opens. It really does." She was right. I didn't believe it, but I never forgot it. A couple of months later, I was almost completely out of money. And my agent called to tell me that Danny Jacobson, the producer of Mad About You, was offering me another small role on the show. The agent was recommending I pass on it because it was too small a role and the character didn't even have a name. It was for the part of waitress, and I wouldn't even see the part till I got to the set in an hour. Get there in an hour. Don't take it. They can't treat you like this. I didn't even think twice. Of course, I took it. Whatever it is, I'll make it funny. I'll listen and respond and make it funny. By the second day, Danny Jacobson asked if I would be okay with being written into at least 5 more shows throughout the season. I told him I was okay with that. Some people thought I was funny as the waitress, ultimately named Ursula, on Mad About You. One of them was one of their talented writers named Jeffrey Cleric. Jeffrey's boyfriend was named David Crane, who recommended I come in to read for his new show about 6 20-somethings who lived in New York and hung out at a coffee house. After many auditions, I was the second person cast in the pilot called Friends Like Us, which would later be changed to Friends. One day, the 6 of us were talking with Jimmy, exchanging the time I got fired stories. And Jimmy told them mine. "Well, she's got the worst one of all. She got fired from Frasier." "You were right for the part, darling." "Thanks." "Well, it's a good thing you got fired or you wouldn't have been on this show." He was right. And it was a good thing I didn't get Saturday Night Live. And that Romy and Michelle, that pilot didn't work out. And every other disappointment that happened. They were actually more like guideposts that kept me on my path. Oh, and after I got fired from Frasier, I went to a birthday party, and feeling like I had nothing at all to lose, I flirted with a guy who was way out of my league. We dated, and on Thursday, Michelle and I will have been married for 15 years. So, thank God I got fired. Maybe there is a reason for everything. I think there is.